If you are a red teamer or a pen tester, you have probably heard of the term constrained delegation. But what is it exactly and how can we abuse it? Let's find out. Imagine we are in an Active Directory domain. There is a web application that talks to an MS SQL database. When a domain user logs into the web app, the application needs to interact with the database using the user identity to perform actions on their behalf. To allow that, a domain admin may mark the web application service account, for example WebSVC, as trusted for delegation, but only to the MS SQL service, which means WebSVC can impersonate any domain user and get a service ticket, but only to the MS SQL service. And that's why it's called constrained. Now, you are a hacker and you want to abuse this. First, you start by enumerating the domain for any user or service account that have trusted for delegation permissions. From Linux, we can use the in-packet find delegation Python script. We specify any domain user cred and the domain controller IP address. As you can see, Aziz Zarhoni is a domain user that can impersonate any domain user, including domain admins, to access HTTP or CEFs on web01.kakarot.local. The file share service looks interesting. Next, we need to have control over the user account, either by obtaining his credentials or a TGT. In this case, we only have Aziz Zarhoni TGT. We load that ticket to memory and then we use getST from inpacket, which stands for get service ticket. Since that user have constrained delegation permissions over the CEF service on web01, we can generate a TGS, a service ticket, to access the CEF service on web01 as a domain admin. So getST.py, and then we specify the service, which is CEFs on web01. Then the user will want to impersonate, which is obviously the domain administrator, -key for Kerberos, and then the domain user that has the delegation permissions. This generates a service ticket to access the CEF service on web01 with a file name called administrator.cc cache. We load that to memory again. As you can see, we have a service ticket as an administrator, and now we can use psexec and get full admin access to web01. This is part of the Kakarot lab, so if you want to practice in your own, check out redsign.com. See you in the next video.